provide us fruitful suggestion and guidance for advancement of technology and engineering.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to welcome Dr. N.T. Ranga Reddy, Chairman of Mechanical Engineering Division Board, IEI. Glad to inform you, sir, that this is our first approved CPD program of Mechanical Engineering Division for year 2020-22. I'm sure that Mechanical Engineering Division will achieve new height in emerging area technology under your leadership, sir. Let me welcome Dr. Nilanjan Sengupta, Director Technical, as well as King Suk Sen, Assistant Director Technical, for providing all required facilities and proceed for approval procedure. It's my pleasure to welcome eminent panelist of today's webinar, Mr. Dinanath Akela, competent person for inspection and certification of boiler, Dr. D.V. Bhatt, retired professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, SUNIT Surat. Welcome, sir. This panelists will share us their knowledge and experience in subject mentioned. Let me also welcome moderator of this event, come Secretary of IES Southwest Local Center, Surat, Mr. Ketan D. Panchal, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering, Dr. S.S. Gandhi College, Surat. Last but not the least, dear participant, you are wholeheartedly welcome to attend this event and hope you improve your knowledge for effective implementation of it for betterment of industry as well as society. Let me have a brief idea about this webinar. As we know that fire is one of the major dangers that cause many casualties, injuries and property damage every year worldwide. Most of these losses occur in low and middle income countries. Exploring the stakeholders experience is a great source of understanding factor affecting prevention of fire and related injury. Government of India has now set a new date for full implementation of NFPA, National Fire Protection Association standard across the nation, and hazard and operability analysis for fire hazard analysis. These are important for the industry. In an era of highly competitive business environment, any interruption due to fire can be catastrophic. As a major fire can bring a business to a halt, restoring the damage done by the fire is only part of the cost of the fire. So fire may have a serious consequences for the production capacity of business closed down altogether. A fire can not only interrupt the whole process of manufacture and production, but also the building and plant will be in ruins. Before they can be replaced and production restored, much work is clearing up and site will be necessary. So it will be necessary to determine what has been lost and damaged. Even if only a small part of the plant has been involved in the fire, staff from other work will need to be diverted to clear up, to mesh, and then to plant rebuilding and restoration of the production. So these are the certain issues and challenges to resolve or to, we can say, minimize these issues. We have eminent speaker personalities. They used to give their knowledge, share their knowledge, and enlighten us. So once again, welcome on behalf of Southwest Local Chapter to all the participants, all the members. Now I request Dr. N.T. Ranga Reddy ji, sir, Chairman, Mechanical Engineering Division Board, to address the gathering. Thank you, sir.
Reddy, unmute your system.
Yes, sir. Unmute your mic, sir. Yeah.
Remaining all, they can mute.
Thank you, Chairman Dr. Jignesh Vagasia. So, respected Dr. H.O. Thakare, President of Institution of Engineers India in absentia, and my good friend Dr. G. Ranganath, Chairman of KATE, Institution of Engineers India, and Dr. Jignesh Vagasia, Chairman, South Gujarat Local Center, eminent panelists for the webinar, Mr. Dinanath Akela, Central Boiler Board, New Delhi, and BE Certified Energy Manager, and Dr. D.V. Bhatt, Professor, Retired Department of Mechanical Engineering, SUNIT Surat. Moderator of the session, Dr. Ketan D. Panchal, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, and Gandhi Engineering College, Surat. And my dear council members, corporate members, and invitees, a very good evening to all of you. Since its inception in 1920, the Institution of Engineers India has upheld the mandate of promoting and augmenting the science, practice, and business of engineering through different technical activities and providing insights to the policymakers regarding matters related to engineering profession. imparting engineering education for working community in non-formal mode, fostering national and international cooperation in engineering and technology, dissemination of sharing of engineering and technical knowledge through various activities on contemporary topics, and encouraging, elevating and recognizing the technical knowledge and practice of individuals and organizations through scholarship and awards. Standing at the crossroads of a century of glorious existence, a little marred by the global pandemic, it was felt appropriate to bethink, introspect, and disseminate ideas, concepts, and best practices in the emerging areas of technology and engineering through virtual platforms, which finally have evolved into a IEI technical webinar series. Today, we are all excited at the prospect of listening and gaining insights from our distinguished panelists on fire and safety issues and challenges, opportunities in industries. Every industry requires a prioritized sense of and action towards safety. Certain industries focus greater on ergonomic safety due to the occupational hazards they offer. Like industries like construction, oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, FMCG, logistics, paint, automobile work, and with heavy equipment on a daily basis, which increases the risk of injuries manifold. In the era of highly competitive business environment, any interruption due to the fire can be catastrophic. A major fire can bring a business to a halt and interrupt the whole process of manufacturing. Inadequately maintained machines, overheated bearings due to insufficient lubrication, or the presence of dust and heat caused by a friction are the very common causes of fire. Proper monitoring and control of the sources of ignition, combustion, and storage of inflammable materials can reduce this probability. Moreover, frequent inspection and a well-structured preventive maintenance schedule can lower the risk of accident, followed by a well-planned and a clean shop floor. The fire safety measures of the machines and equipment should be checked periodically. Outdated tools and equipment should be replaced as and when required. I believe that IEI technical webinar on fire and safety issues and challenges, opportunities in industries, being organized by the South Gujarat Local Center of the institution under the aegis of Mechanical Engineering Division Board of the institution today, will be relevant for practitioners and researchers, and will be successful in portraying the opportunities and challenges to enhance the fire safety issues in industries. And I would like to thank South Gujarat Local Center Chairman and Secretary for taking this initiative to start a first webinar. And I'm sure that end of this 2-hour seminar, we are all engineers, a lot of beneficial in the fire and safety processes to be followed for the industries. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sir, I think now go over to the chairman. Sir, go ahead.
Okay.
Good evening to all of you, sir. Respected President in absentia, Dr. H.O. Thakare, actually who is supposed to join with us, and because of some health problem is unable to join us, otherwise he would have joined. The Chairman, Mechanical Engineering Division Board, my family friend, Dr. E. Rangareddy, who is an industrialist also. Bihar is a council member in the IEI. Chairman of South Gujarat Local Center and dynamic member of the Mechanical Division and good friend of me, Dr. Jignesh G. Vagasala, and Secretary and all other committee members of South Gujarat Local Centers. Eminent speakers, I am so happy to see these 3 speakers. One is industrial expert, Dr. D. Akelaji, who is having his vast experience, particularly in the same domain of today's topic. And 2 academicians. One is I was having interaction earlier, Professor Bhattji, who is a senior most academician, where we are all supposed to walk on his footprints. And I was sharing with him that they all enjoyed the academic life. We are all fighting in the academic life. I was telling casually. Then young and dynamic assistant professor, Dr. Ketan D. Panchal, who is going to share his experience also with the audience. All attending engineers, Of course, they are engineers in education. Otherwise, we can say there's a graduates. Maybe few of them maybe even employees in different location. But till they want to attend this program. And all other peoples, I am so happy to be with all of you this wonderful evening. First, let me congratulate South Gujarat Local Center Chairman and Secretary and all other committee members, because this academic year, this 22 year, they have taken the first step and first conference. Actually, this type of conference is supposed to happen one-to-one, otherwise directly and offline. Because of pandemic, without spending money, without even giving cover to any speakers, people are spending this seminars and online. And of course, it is advantages wherever they are, they can attend from there without spending their travel time, financial burden towards travel, and no registration fees in bigger way. All these things, advantages are there. And today's topic is a wonderful topic: fire and safety issues and challenges and opportunities in industry. Neatly coined by South Gujarat Local Center, which came to our technical division of IEI headquarters. Without having a time, immediately we say yes, because it's a wonderful topic. In addition to that, they identified 3 wonderful speakers who to be called as eminent personalities, or we can say eminent speakers. So they're going to share their vast experience in the same field. So for all these things, I should certainly congratulate Chairman and other Secretary and other members of South Gujarat Local Center. It is a wonderful topic, sir. My greetings to Chairman ji. Now, in your welcome address, you given beautifully what is in safety issues, how it is challenges and opportunities, everything you have given. To that, Chairman of Mechanical Division Board, Rangareddy, is given again another beautiful workforce of it is happening in industry and everything. Now, in addition to these two, what else I can do? What else I can share? When 3 eminent speakers are next to me. But till, as a KT chairman, and I will not take much of time because speakers are waiting there, I will like to share only about 6-7 slides are there. I will share with all of you. With your permission, Chairman, let me go to present the slides.
Yes, sir, it is coming. Thank you, sir.
Just 12 minutes, sir, because speakers are there, let me not take the time. See, generally, this fire site they will called as 2 ways. One is a triangular, another one tetrahedron. When it is going to happen with oxygen, heat, and fuel, only by these 3, it is called as triangular fire. And if you are going to this chain reaction of all these 4, it is called as tetrahedron. And what are the elements in this? As I shown here, one is an oxygen, another one is heat, another is fuel. Then chemical chain reaction. A chemical chain reaction is a series of chemical reactions where the products of the reaction contribute to the reactant of another reaction. It is called as chemical reaction. Then how it is going to have stages in this fire? If you take a graph, heat versus time, it is at a stage incipient ignition has occurred, but there is been no spread. Just taken a fire, it is not spreading. After this stage, then we don't take a step to stop this fire, it is going to reach the peak. Okay, growth will be there, fire is self-sustaining, then it will take a flash point and rapid rise in intensity, and it is going to reach a peak point. It is called as fully developed, and fire is at the hottest point, burning all the available fuels, whatever it catches there. Till if you don't stop there by putting enough water and everything, then it is going to come down. Of course, it is a decay, but fire is running out of fuel, but still it is very dangerous. This is the longest stage. You can see this stage. This is the longest stage. If you take heat versus time, this is called as stages of fire. Then, how it is going to be classified? This is going to be classified in 5 categories. One is combustible. maybe with firewood or paper. All this is called as a category A. Fire catching through papers, fire catching through firewood, fire catching this type of material is called as combustible. Then fire catching on liquids. When there is a liquid is there, fuel is there, it is going to be liquid category. Then electrical equipments. When there is an electrical equipment is there, when short circuit is going to happen, or misfire is going to happen, or on circuit is going to happen, it is called as electrical equipment. C category. Then combustible metals like titanium oxide and potassium oxide, all these called as combustion metals. This is a D category. Then this is an oil fire, again K category. So it is important to note that other countries, the names of these properties of these classifiers differ. For example, in the United States, fire classes are named by the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, National Fire Protection Association. This is by USA. Whereas Europe, they are controlled by European Standard Classification of Fires. Whereas in India, we are giving these 5 categories, BIS. Effects of fire on personals, because chairman clearly were telling not only material loss, not only construction of building loss, not only other thing loss. We are very, very concerned towards our human, those who are working in the particulars. How it is going to happen? First degree burns, it is going to get only this type of burns because of a small fire. Immediately involves only redness of the skin, and example, it's called a sunburn. Second degree of burns, blisters of the skin will form like this. Blisters. In the severe cases, fluid will collect under the skin. This might have seen. But third one is very dangerous. Third degree burns, skin, tissues, red blood cells, capillaries, and sometimes even muscles are destroyed. They can see the categories. So effect of fires will be there in a person or human beings in these 3 categories. But generally the first category and second category is manageable. But third category is very, very unsafe and should be very, very cautious, which we should not give an opportunity for this. Then what are the causes for these industrial fires? Scrap and trash, when you don't deal properly. Then second, dust. Again, the same thing, when you don't clean then and there, accumulation of dust sometimes will catch a fire because of some other. Then flammable liquids, then electrical problem, then sparks, the wrong things. Then machineries, when machineries having a fuel, machineries catches a fire, like a car is catching a fire, a bus is catching a fire, we are all seeing that like that. So these are the common causes of industrial fires especially. Apart from that, again, sometimes smokers, we don't know what the mentality of either labor or officer or manager. The one who is having a smoking habit, nowadays smoking is prohibited, smoking is blocked, smoking is not permitted, all these things there. But till some people will have that habit. So this will be very, very cautious. After they smoking, they have to see this bud, how they have to dispose. And how to this stop. This one is cause. Next, hard surfaces, how it is going to catch. Then hazardous chemicals and metals. So these are the 3 other sides. Then how these types of fire extinguishers is available in our society. One is solid right, completely the cylinder is right. You can see in industries, it is called as by water. So this is used on paper, wood, coal, cardboards, and other solid fuels when it is going to catch a fire. So this type of cylinder we are going to use. It can be used as a class A category. Coming to the class B category, it is called as a foam. So this cylinder is going to be marked like this, a creamy mark. It can be used in the class A and class B, like used on solid fuels, fires as well, and flammable liquids. Third category, it's a powder. And generally the category is, this you can identification mark is blue. So this can be used as class A, class B, class C, class D, and other electrical items, like any kind of fire except a class F, that's in the cooking oil. So fourth category is carbon dioxide, CO2, used on flammable liquids and electrical fires. It is called CO2. Of course, it is color is black. You can see the color is fully red. It is cream for the foam. It is blue for the powder, and for black it is carbon dioxide. And fifth one is in yellow. It is called as wet chemicals. It can be used only for class A and class F. Used on cooking oil fires as well as consumable. So these are types of fire extinguisher which is located, which is installed either commercial building or industrial buildings in particular. Now, what are the safety courses available in society to take care of this? In National Examination Board in Occupational Safety and Health, that is called as NEBOSH. It is called UK-based Independent Examination Board, which is delivering vocational qualification in health, safety, environmental practice, and management. So, if anyone want to do the courses in this safety courses, so one is available, one UK-based. Then another one is available in regional, in our own country, Regional Labour Institute and RL. It is available in Chennai, Kanpur, Kolkata, Haryana, Shillong. So these are the 5 places this RLI is available, Regional Labour Institute. So they are also offering these courses. The engineers, those are the engineering graduates, they want to go to this field. They want to get certificate by doing the course. So they can either choose an UK-based or Indian-based. And other things, other safety colleges, institutes under the government recognition. So many private people are also conducting these courses. They can take a certificate by doing these courses. So by getting these courses, what they are going to get advantages? Certainly depends upon the qualification. In addition to these courses, these are the available designations, opportunities. One can become health officer, or safety HOD, or safety auditors, or health instructors, fire safety advisors, fire technicians, fire officers, safety officers, health and sanitary environmental officer, safety engineer, fire supervisor, safety supervisor. The people, those are going to get the certificates on this fire safety side, these are the designations available. Depends on their qualifications, experience. Certainly, they're going to have good opportunities. So, where they get these opportunities? Not only government, beyond the government, a lot of government institutions and private institutions, state governments. So, these are the companies: shipping corporation, municipal corporation, NTPC, airports, railway departments, ONGC, coal and mines, power plant, logistic, cargos, steel plant, construction companies, electrical electronics companies, plastic polymer company, automobile company, paper industry, food industry, oil industry, refineries, and so on. If any engineering graduate, beyond engineering graduations, they want to become a fire safety organizations, fire safety engineer, fire safety inspector, certainly taking these courses, a wonderful opportunities are available. All these organizations, beyond that, lot of private organizations also that appointing for the company sides. With this, let me thank the chairman by congratulating. Let me thank Mechanical Division Board Chairman Dr. Rangareddy, who will take initiations. And let me thank all our eminent speakers who are going to be sharing their wide knowledge and vast experience with the attendees. And let me congratulate all the attendees. Certainly, 3 speakers by listening, you are going to get a lot of enrichment in your own field and you are going to have self-confidence. With this, again, let me thank our Jagdish Ji Vagela sir, and you please go ahead with your good number of programs. I am very happy to congratulate you. This is the first program of 2022. We are very happy to congratulate you and always will be with you, sir. And I am thankful for all of you for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Now I request Mr. Ketandi Panchal to introduce our panelist and proceed the program.
Namaskar, Jai Bharat to everyone. Our respected Thakre sir, Ranganath sir, Reddy sir, Vagasia sir, and our respected panelists of today's technical webinar. First of all, I am really thankful on behalf of South Gujarat Technical Center, Regional Center Surat, to Ranga Reddy sir and Ranganath sir for their motivating words for conducting first of its kind technical webinar of 2022. Sir, keep us motivating like this. We are there to create such a history in for IEI. We are there for you. Thank you, sir. As we know, dear participant, that fire safety is an important and necessary in the workshop, the workplace in order to prevent and protect against the destruction caused by the fire. As we all know, fire safety reduces the risk of injury and building damage that fire can cause. Due to the number of workplace surrounded by the ingredients and the material that will quickly ignite a fire, it is necessary to fire safety to be discussed. And we are here with that topic today. We know fire safety preparation, education, and prevention is a small price, is a very small price to pay versus the alternative losses that fire bring. The risk for business is high when employees and customer alike are at risk. So we do have two expert panelists with us today. Let me introduce them. First is Mr. Dinanath Akela. Mr. Akela is working as a manager, operation in Reliance Industry, Hazira, Surat. He is having more than 12 years of experience in erection, commissioning, and operation in boilers. He is having a keen area of interest in IR, CFBC operation and RLA of old boilers, boiler effective operation with environmental norms with compact cost. He has completed his technical graduation BTech in power engineering from NPTI, Durgapur. He is having a certification in competent person for inspection and certification of boilers, New Delhi. He is also having a proficiency certificate in boiler operation engineer, and he is rather more certified as an energy manager and having a NDT level twice certification in RT and UT. He has worked in various organizations as Thermex Pune, Martin Jamshedpur, IMF Limited, Cuttack. He has also pursued his research work of 6 months with CME-RI Durgapur for hydrodynamic behavior, study bubbling bed combustion. Our respected second panelist expert of today's topic, our respected senior professor, retired from SVNIT, Dr. D.V. Bhatt, sir. He is also a BOG member at Indian Institute of Technology, Indore. Also BOG chairman of PSR Group of Institution, Sivakasi, Tamil Nadu. He is also a member of governing body in Gujarat Technological University, Gandhinagar. He is also a member of board of study at Pandit Dildayal Petroleum University, then ITM University, as well as Marwadi University. He is having more than 40 years of experience. We are glad to have you here, sir. We really feel blessed to have you, sir. Out of that 40 years, 30 years in academic and 2 years in entrepreneurship, as well as 8 years in core industry. He has also guided 11 PhD students, 37 master students. Moreover, Dr. Bhatt has 4 granted patents. He has published more than 80 plus national and international conferences. He has also visited many countries like USA, UK, Canada, etc. for academic involvement. So, not taking much more time as participants are eager to hear, I welcome Mr. Dinanath Akela, our first expert panelist, to share their views of today's important topic. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. It is always a great opportunity to be a part of this great institution, and I always feel what I'm going to learn and what I have experienced, and definitely I will pass on to the younger generation and the future for that. So in this context, yes, this is the first event of 2022 from this local center from the Gujarat. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks to Ranganath sir and our chairman sir, Gangareddy sir and Jignesh sir. Thanks for this opportunity. And yes, it is definitely, it is a burning topic. Right now, what we will do, we have the lots of the job pressure, right? In that point, we miss the safety point of view of the fire. Why I have chosen this topic, just because I just belong from the Surat, And when the words hear the fire, right, sir? So the only the what when but I can imagine the thing that uh, 2 or 3 years back there was accident occurred in the Surat, right? And this was happened in very younger students who are gone for the teach for the coaching, and these were definitely the scene is still in front of my eyes. So when I remember the words of the fire, the only one thing that imaged to me. So that's why I am just here to choosing this topic, that if we have ignored or if we have missed uh, what we can say if we have, and if the procedure of the safety, if we are not going to be lay or audits regularly, if we are not going to do the system of the fire, then it is going to be more and more disastrous. So that's why I have come with this topic. And definitely, sir, definitely, this event is going to be very remarkable, because I belong from the industry. So what are the precautions? What are the challenges are associated with there? I'm going to reveal one by one. So just I'm going to share my PPT. And, yes, but first of all, yes, many details already shared, Ranganathan sir, that what are the basic concerns are there, right? So I am only going to focus about what are the challenges are associated with there and how we are going to become up. And I am just going to discuss the key points from the learning that is called in the industry, we called it the learning from the incident, right, sir? So this is going to be more and more beneficial to all across the nation. From these platforms, I'm urging and requesting to all the participants. So whatever you have done from here, what are the questions you have? So you can also do or through the mail, right? So as a concern of there, I am just going to little bit brief on the backside that industry is operating the huge amount of the oil, gases, and what we can say the coal. Yes, so these all are itself what we can say it is a potential of the hazard of the huge amount of the fire, right? So how we are going to tackle, what are the preventive actions are we have prepared, what are the engineering controls are involved by each properties of these substances. So what are we are going to discuss for the gases, what are we are going to engineering control for the codes. So just I'm going to little bit brief about that. After that, I will come to the one by one the case studies. So as concern of that, the first I will take the example of the power sector. Yes, the power sector is very vital, and because they are going to play with huge amount of the oil. It may be your furnace oil, LDO, HFO, LSPS, all are there, right? So they are going to use for the light up of the boiler. So they are mainly stored in the day oil tank. So how we are protecting there? What are the system? What are the engineering controls are there, right? So we generally place there as right now. What are the best? We can say the techniques are there. So we have the infrared cameras are there. So what are the sensing if there any fire are there? Okay, so that we catch through there, and accordingly, what are the protective systems we have installed? Like what we can say the Chrome or the DV systems that will operate. So this is the one little part. Apart from that, we are going to the huge amount of storage of the code, right? And itself, it is a challenge. Why? Because the coal having the certain amount of the VM, that is your volatile matter, and this volatile matter is going to be helpful for the combustion, right? As we are the basic background of this power sector. But what are the challenges associated with this fire and the huge amount? Just for the example, if we have the 100 megawatt of power plant, then we have to make the cold storage of, we can say, the capacity of more than 3 to 4 lakhs ton. Like, so we are making the storage of that capacity of coal, and we have to, because rest just in 2 months back we have the faces the some problem of the coal crisis. So to cope up of all the situations, we have the backup of at least 7 to 10 days of the coal. So how we are going to manage, how we are going to control the fire from there, because the one important thing is there, that is your spontaneous combustions, or we can say the smoldering are going to be take place there. So that's why we have established the systems. Is about what we can say, that the height, what are the heap of the height are there, right? So that accordingly we have to maintain. So that's it. And apart from that, if there's some, what we can say, the smoldering is coming out, okay, so what we will do, the corrective action, that we have to consume first, or we have to suppress with the payloader and other equipment, so that the air ingress should be minimized. So these are the control practices, the best practices we are operating, and we are doing across the nation. Now, other challenges are also there, that if we are using what we can say the natural gas, LDO, HFO, so for that, with our burner platforms or the burner area of the boiler, where we will place the equipment, like we can say the Elliott detectors are there, so that if there is leakages of the gases, that is flammable gases and combustible gases are there, so we can easily from there we can give the alarm in our control room, and after that, what are the protective systems are there, we will manage these things and control it. Next is about the very vital equipment, that is our turbine systems. So the turbine systems, we have the some, we can say the quartz bulb are we have applied. So this quartz bulb technology are very effective, right? So whenever the temperature is goes higher, the set point of this quartz bulb, the quartz bulb will blast. So it is coming in the color of the blue, orange, red, and pink. Okay, so what are the temperature are there? So the higher temperature, it is 78, 95 degrees Celsius. Upon it is being burst, and the other homes and what we can say the DV systems are going to be operated. So this was the total challenges, and these are the some modern techniques which are going to be used. Apart from that, we also have the electrical equipment like the transformer, and these transformer we always know about, these are having the some good amount of the oil are there, right? So, and it is also associated with the electrical systems. So for that, we have right now the advanced technologies called the N2 foaming systems. Okay. So it is cover up when there is the smokes are there, smoke detector systems are there. Accordingly, we will manage the all the protection systems for this transformers. Now I'm going to the some beautiful examples and learning incidents that an industry from the centuries beyond. This is the chemical industry, and its incident is your explosion and acid burn. So how it is going to be impact, and what the things that we have missed here. Okay, so the learning from here, I'm just going to share about that the new sulfuric acid tank was going for the installations. 2 employees are going to work on the top of the tank, but what happened? Yes, so due to the sudden near another acid tank got exposed, and huge amount of what we can say the ignition source are. Yes, so the consequent, the 2 fatals, 3 serious injuries are occurred, and there are also the pollution of the workplace and what we can say, the environment impact are also occurred, and the loss of properties are damaged. So after the analysis, after the RC, we have done the RCA root cause analysis, and from there we have found the nascent hydrogen caused this fire, right? Because sulfuric acid, these are chemicals where we are using for what we can say the maintaining the some what we can say in the chemical industry uh, to lowering of the pH and the some chemical reactions. So this hydrogen are very phenomenal. As we can see the combustion of hydrogen H2 plus O2, so it is going to liberate the huge amount of the energy. So that's why we have to put there the aerial detectors. Okay. So if we have the aerial detector system, then these incidents are going to be prevented. Next is this is the chemical also for the person chemicals, explosion and chemical bonds are there, right? So during what we are, the batch trial are under progress, and the completion of the solvent and acid adding heating was started. After 15 minutes, the pressure observed on the reactor indicator, and this pressure are going to be what we can say, what are the safe limit of these reactors. So it is going to be little bit higher side. The solvent vapor come out from the flange joint of the reactors. So the next onwards, the result of the explosion due to the electric spark. So now, what are the learning here? Yes. So just I would like to tell you. Yes. So in the root cause analysis, non-flame proof electrical installation need to be there. Hazard analysis must be done. Right now, as we know that we are doing in the process for HAZOP. So HAZOP is a part of the hazard analysis system, and the risk assessment and the control measures also going to be taken care. If it is was inadequate or not sufficient for that, then chances of death. So that's why if the system is going to be there, then we have to the flame sensing instrument we are also going to apply there, so that if the certain explosions are going to be there, then we can check it. The next case studies by the this is for Srihari chemicals. So acid bonds are there. So reactor is all here pressurized due to the exothermic reaction contains the oleum and the solvent. The mixture come out from the reactor manhole, and two workers working below this reactor injured due to the splash of the acid during the treatment. So what we have observed, this all the this what we can say the incidents that is about how we have little bit ignorance of the system or due to inadequate analysis of the hazard. So first of all, it is our prime job that what are the jobs are there, how we are going to make the potential that this job is having so much potential of these kinds of the hazards. So chemical burns are there, fire injuries are also there. The chances are there that must be noted. Next is about the essential chemicals, the release of the toxic gas. So the chlorination was started at 9 p.m. in the night. Approximately 300 kg of chlorine was passed. The reactor contained the intermediate chemicals. At about 10:30, it was observed that the release of the toxic gas over the scrubber went and dispersed around the area. Now, I'm just going to explain about this toxic gas of the chlorine. Chlorine is very, very hazardous, and as we go through the properties of this chlorine, it is heavier than air. So it is always going to settle in the lower level of the heights, and it is always going to make in the form of the cloud, right? So that's why we have put the, what we can say, the windshield. So if there is chlorine leakages are there, so what we have to do, what the engineering controls we have to apply? We have to apply the chlorine leak detector systems. Okay, so for that, the generally what we will do, if the leakage is from the chlorine or chlorine scrubber vents, so scrubber system are only placed that if the leakages from the chlorine systems or what we can say the joints are there, so it will be the shock out through the air blowers and neutralized with the scrubber. So scrubber is mainly having that the sodium hydroxide. So regularly we are going to check the concentration of the sodium hydroxide, and we generally maintain its concentration 16%, 16% sodium hydroxide. So next onward, what we will do, we have to check what we have installed the scrubbers for this chlorine systems, it is adequate or not. What are the quality of the sodium hydroxide present in these scrubbers, and what are the level are there. Apart from that, we must have some electronic device such as leak detector system, so that we can prevent it. Otherwise, it goes to very hazardous, and it has potential of the several death in a short time. So we have to place the leak detector system, and based on that, we have to that signal must convey and communicate to the control room. Okay. After that, this also communicate to the fire department and emergency department, and we have to make the good plan for this chlorine leak detector systems. Time to time, we have to also what we can say, the make the mock drill for that if we have applying the chlorine systems in the plant. It's already the same for that. Yes. Now, the one most important case studies is about the incident number 6, that is Nirmal Children Limited, fire, charging of the solid material from SDPE, high density polymer bags to kettle going on. The fire took place due to the static charge. Yes. So now, what are the engineering control associated with there? So if there is a chances of the static charge associated or going to create in the process or the what we can say in the manufacture of the product. So what we have to do, we have to make the arrangement so that it's going to be neutralized. So we have to put the earthing systems like that. So many times what we have still we are I have seen in the many places that if we are having the fuel, we are going to lift it, or we are loading and unloading at our plant premises through the tankers, then we generally do the mistake that we are not goes to the that what we can say earthing of this tanker. So it is not a good practice. So whenever we are dealing the hydrocarbons, when we are dealing the LDO, HFO through tankers, through the day oil tank, then that time this neutralization, or we can say the grounding of this tanker must be do. Otherwise, what will be going to happen? Due the static charge will develop, and this static charge has the potential to create the fire. And we are dealing here the huge amount of the oil, flammable oils are there. So the huge amount of the potential for the fire. So these things definitely we have to mention. And if we are not going to do this practice, so I'm requesting to all the participants, please note all this what we have learning and what the instrument correction and advanced technologies which are using in the other industry we have to apply. If we are not going, if we have the system but not going to work, then definitely we have to make in the practice to work as per the what are the requirements. Next is the Unichem laboratory there was the chemical bonds are there. So here also the mixed acid charging into the reactor was in the process, and the level gauge of the mixed bed measuring vessel was broken. So what happened? The what we can say, the spillage of this acid are spreaded to the nearby locations, and who are involved in this job, they got the injuries. So what we have to do, we have to regularly, what are the equipments installed or working against this heads of zone, that we have to regularly monitor and check it, so that we are able to only minimize and we can say the prevent this type of accidents. KDL Biotech Limited, that is the incident is the fire. The solvent unloading from the tankers of the drum having the 200-liter capacity was in the process, and the 50% of the solvent unloaded in SDP drums. The fire took place near the tanker, and also the solvent storage go down also catch the fire. So how we are going to control it? What are the learning forming there, right? So here also we have to meet the concept of we have to ground this static charge, right? Because whenever the movement through the oil and the tanker are from tanker to drum or tanker to the oil tank, then there is a development of a static charge are there. So for prevention of that, we have to ground this tanker equipments, so that what are the charges are developed that goes easily to neutralize to the earth. Next is the Spark Limited. So here the two workers were doing the maintenance job near the cattle furnace. The person from the production settled charging the CO in the same cattle, assume that it was empty, and start charging the next batches. Now, I'm just going to reveal about what are the property of this CO, right? So again, as you can Google it, then you will find that the density of the CO is heavier than the air. So what happened? We have the procedure of the decontamination of what we can say that tankers or the cattle, right? But if we are not going to proceed in such a way, then the CO are always have the chances to settle at the bends and the lower part of the vessels. So if we are not going to confirm then and start the charging, then there is a what we can say the biggest, we can say that the chances of the explosions, and also if we are putting the head to the system, then charges and the condition of that there can be the fire. So here what we can say the reveal through the RCA is about the ineffectiveness of the work permit, because we are not able to identify that this CO is completely decontaminated from the system or not, and lack of awareness about the training that we are dealing the CO. So how the CO is going to behave, how we are going to confirm, are any places diseases are there, or negatives of negative what we can say negative systems are there, so that there is no any possibility of this CO, which is heavier than air, to accumulate on the bottom of the kettle. Where the chemicals, the release of the poisonous gas. So again here, because in the chemical industries, the lots of what we can see the gases and the byproduct are going in the form. So at that time, some toxics and gases, poisonous gases are going to be released. So what we have to do, we have to make what are the lines and vents and the flanges are there, that should be 100% sealed, and regularly we have to monitor and check the condition. So if we are not going to maintain, then what will happen? that the leakages are there and result into the fatal. So here we have to proper check of the MOC of the gas. So because what are the lines we are using and what are the media, what are the gases are flowing inside there. So we have also checked according to the MOC. Some, if we say there are the chances of the corrosive materials are there, so we have to modify or create the MOC according to this corrosiveness of the properties of the media, so that we are able to sustain. Otherwise, what will be happen? The corrosion and other factors are going to be governed, and the tubes and the water, the flanges are there. They are going to be weakened, and from there the leak are going to be start. So from this incident, we have to learn that what are the properties of the byproducts or the gases and the toxic material are there. Accordingly, we have to make the plan. Next is about very interesting, and it is very important that the leak of the bromine during the transportation. So it is the part of the transportation where the release of the toxic gases are there. So the transportation of bromine carried out through the gas bottle having the 3 kg of the capacity, and it is fixed and assembled in the wooden box. During the transportation, few bottles are break and start leaking, and these bromines, as we go through the what we can say the properties of this bromine, so it is creating the very we can say the big trouble in inhalation, inadequate packing of the bromine, root cause and untrained driver. So first of all, from this instance, we have to learn about if we are the transportation of doing the material, then we have to check the proper shipments, and also we have to make the plan to better shipments of the equipment, so that there is no chances of the equipment damage during the transit, right? Because we are handling the very we can say the high and the toxic gases are there, so that point must be evaluated, and it cannot be compromised at any cost. So this was the total, what we can say, the learnings from the various incidents are there. It is in the nutshell. I am going to only one thing in the conclude from my this session, that first we have to analyze that what are the nature, what are the properties of the medias are involved. Okay, in this media, maybe in the processes, in this media, maybe your product or in any kind, right? So the only one thing is about that we have to make the fireproof or accidents free, right? The some systems in such a way that we can not only dependent upon the what we can say the only the manpower and the controlling only one the single element. Now we are in the such era that we have the engineering controls also, right? So, and apart from that, there are several rules and regulations are there, like Explosion Act 1884 are there. So license for the storage and use of explosive, fire safety, firefighting provision for the storage, gas cylinder rules 2004. So there are many, what we can say, the rules and regulations are associated with here. So accordingly, we have to prepare, we have to identify the hazard, and after the proper identification, we have to make the what are the root causes are there, what are the probable accident or may be there. So for that, we have to prepare some PIPA, pre-accident protection to protect action, so that we can analyze, and if it is required, then we have also do some mock drill to prevent, and how we are make our check that how our system is ready for that. So these were all the details about the incidents, and the details already are given to the details and the properties. So accordingly, we have to identify the prone and the root cause. So this was the total detail about from my side. So thank you to all of the good the participants. And if you have any query, then definitely you can put in the chat box also. And if you want to know more about this fire and the safety, then you can mail to me. So just to note down my mail ID. So my mail ID is akelaboiler@gmail.com. So thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Akela. Thanks a lot. We do have got some more questions regarding your session, but we will deal with all the questions at the end of the session, friends. Now I request Dr. Bhatt sir to continue this session. Bhatt sir, please.
Sure, sir.
It's over to you.
Very nice session, Akela sir.
Thank you, Akela sir. Bhatt sir, welcome.
Thank you. So this webinar has also given one opportunity to institutional engineer headquarters look at under the management by objective of critical disaster management. They should equip all the local center with a smart classroom, and supporting in this case, headquarters may take lead. So I think our local chairman, Dr. Jignesh, will agree to it. So such situation we can face easily, because it has happened. If we use common laptop, in spite of two separate links, and industries are providing the laptop, but they keep control over the external application. And I understand because of that reason he could not join, because this is the major cause. I've seen that. So here we are sharing our experience for the academic purposes. Sometimes industry also keeps watch on this. I'm sharing the slide. Just you confirm it. Is it visible?
No, sir, not yet. Kindly share your screen, sir.
Yeah, please. Now it is visible.
It is coming, sir. Please wait. No, it is not visible still, sir.
Please confirm. It is visible, sir?
No, it is not visible, they say.
Yeah.
Just retrying.
Yeah, it is visible now, sir.
So once again, good evening to everyone, to participants and the dignitaries of the headquarters, chairman of Mechanical Engineering Division and the chairman of the Institute of Engineers, chairman of the local center. Without taking much time, as this is a very short period, so this is also like 2020. So my dear friends, if I hit shots here and there, don't declare me run out or habitable, because we have to have this awareness program. So my broad objective of the presentation will be how to improve the safety awareness and how to take measures, accident prevention, reduce the accidents and improve the productivity. So with this, we have initiated good with the real live examples by my earlier speaker, young speaker, and the chairman also shared a very good awareness about the fire and other things. Now, what are the consequences of the accident if accident takes place? Now, accident is an event which takes without notice. You know, everyone. So, first measure, if it is fatality, then medical expenses. We have seen the Bhopal tragedy. We have seen number of industrial experience, blasting of the boilers in this textile process houses, and ultimately medical expense or loss of the human beings. What are the indirect losses we suffer? No peace of mind in family, because if someone is become disabled or lost their life, then naturally family earning member is no more. So family is in calamity. Then frustration in life also. If he's become unable or disabled and unable to work further, then frustration will come in life. Then future plan also upsets because of the accident. Then loss of family members. So in this case, these are the consequences. So it gives an alarm. Okay, we should prevent the accident rather than facing the consequences after the accident. What are the social losses? Children become orphans. We have seen it in rare accidents, in industry also. Now we talk about the focusing on the MSME because it contributes more in GDP. And MSME needs to be improved for the with respect to safety issues and challenges, because MNC and PUC are having well equipped their safety policy and infrastructure. But for MSME, it is not. So 90% labor or manpower is working in the MSME. So for that, naturally, this awareness and certification is more important. And here, Institute of Engineer is playing the role. So thanks to the headquarters for initiating such activity in between. I just tell you to make alert to the participants. This is a opportunity in the industries. So now, causes of accidents, what? Unsafe acts not following. Yes, safety norms applicable to them. Normally, it is not followed. If you watch MSME, normally for them, safety is the least priority. Even a first aid box to locate is very difficult. So here, safety norms to be made available as a display on the signboard of the various shops. So the awareness will be created. Standing orders of the company, sometime in company, when you order, some norms are available. Okay, you cannot move onto this path. You have to move on the passage with yellow path mark. You have to move on that only. So sometimes people are not following the orders, though it is displays, hoarding boards are available and instructions are available. Even though not following invites the accident. Plant safety rules are also available. Even in institution, when you enter to the workshop, it is said without shoes, you are not allowed. Without apron, you are not allowed to run the machines. So violating all this, not following this, it may invite the accidents. Definitely, safety instruction one should follow. We know it, but sometimes under the age of young age, you can say zeal, "Arre mujhe kuch hone wala nahi hai," or he invites the accidents. So these are to be strictly followed. Safety tips normally are given. What are the safety tips? Because some functions needs this hazardous environment in working condition. So at that time, safety tips are given. Okay, you wear a mask, you have a shield in front of your face while working in this industry. Just for an example, in mines industries, in cement industries, these are the tips given, but it is not being followed. So what will happen ultimately? It will invite the accidents. So not using the safety guards also. Personal protective equipments are available. It is as per the norms one has to use. While welding, if you go, then you have to use a welding shield. While grinding a tool, you have to use this goggles, unbreakable. But people are not using it because it is just 1 minute. Why should you? But the RPM of the grinding wheel is in 10,000 plus. What will happen if it is not properly grinding a tool? A single minute and nano size crack can damage the ice. Sometimes on a machine tools, particularly in the engineering industries, recommended speeds and feeds are not properly followed. This is being observed practically because in round the clock, three shift running engineering industry is small. So to achieve the production target in a night shift or second shift, they increases the speed and feed. What will happen? It will damage machines also, and it will also damage individual also quality of the product also. So this is also causes of the accident. It may also cause sometimes accidents also. Not using the right tool for the right job. Use worn out or non-standard tools. Yes, sometime in absentia to release the pressure of the production, unskilled person is asked, oh, you are always helping me, why don't you run the machine? You can do it. And he doesn't know what type of the right job tools to be used. Just like doctor nahi hai और compounder डायग्नोसिस करने लग जाएगा तो क्या होगा? ऐसा ही हाल कभी-कभी इंडस्ट्री में भी हो जाता है. So this is also invites the accidents. Now causes of accidents, we have seen miscellaneous causes also. Horseplay at the shop floor means you are not doing the right job at the right place. It means it is said in the proverb. So you can see you have to have the same activity which is it meant for. Now disturbing the concentration of others by throwing items talking. Because you can see the laborers always in a mass production industry. I just quote my live example when I was working with the bearing industry at Baroda. Then you know in mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, we have one study of work sampling. Wherever productivity is fluctuation, then first study is a work sampling study. So it was carried out, then randomly the observations are made. It is found that all the time 10 to 12% machines remains idle out of 30 machines. Then reason was identified that the toilet block was available near to the corner of that particular shop. So laborers are used to go into the toilet and for smoking. They are used to eat tobacco and the smoking. So all the time 10 to 12% machines were remaining idle. So that affects the direct productivity. So now changing the door of this toilet block, it has improved the productivity. So one way it was improve the productivity, other way safety in the environment, cleanliness also achieved by that way. And they are talking while going to the toilet, they also ask, yes, come, I'm going there. So they are disturbing concentration of the others by throwing by just, you can say, you can isara say, or some talking, yes, I'm going by moving to the patient, he talks, I'm going, you come there. So this type of things also causes the accidents. Now operating dangerous machine without training, without knowing, without orders. ये कभी के साला में तो साफ बन गया. मुझे आता है, मैं लेबर हूँ, और सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के अंदर में you know it well, the trained masons are very rare. Or, you can see that just working as a helper for a couple of years, he becomes the mason and he starts plastering and it does, and he becomes expert in the civil engineering. So similarly here in this engineering industry also, yes, join as a helper, then he become an unskilled, still he is not certified, not trained, but he know only how to run just like how to drive a two-wheeler vehicle by the kids. He doesn't know what impact will come if something comes or some braking applies, then because of the momentum, he meets with the accident. Similarly, in the industry also, without training, without knowing, if one is starting operating the machine, what will happen? Accident only. So here, this is to be taken care of for any such machine, or you can say precision machines, or you can say dangerous machines which are producing some dangerous products, processing equipment. So here you have to put some sorts of hoarding to keep awareness that this machine is not allowed to run by any untrained person. Now, causes of accident, not reporting in time and defect notice. This is the frequently happenings, because when any accident takes place, a sympathy wave starts and all the labor get together at the accident place and they forget to report in time and how it has happened. later on part, not all the description and added information comes to the management. So sometimes wrong decision is also followed because it is lost to the industry also. At the time, all labor unions, all other people comes together in the and argue in the benefit of the victims. But at the time, as the owner of the industry, if you look at really what has happened. So here the question arises whether it is a man-made accident or machine-made accident. So reporting time, it is in time, then this confusion will not create. Now bad housekeeping, because you know well bad housekeeping means that wherever from where you pick up the things and put it is not in the right way. Nearby machines you will find all keys, chuck, tools, and sometime on the safeguard provided on the machines, on that also it is lying. Surrounding all the bins are lying. So this is bad housing. That also invites accidents. Improper cleaning of tool, job, machine, you know it well, because cleaning is a mission. Bharat, Swachh Bharat for industry, Swachh good housekeeping is also a necessary, and it is also a part of the safety, because some industries motivate by giving the awards for the good housing, good housekeeping in a various shops. So this is also one way part of the safety measures. Not using proper and suitable personal protective equipments. Personal protective equipments, a list is already provided, and then from top to bottom, helmet to shoes, this is to be used as per their use defined. Now in accident, personal factors also plays a vital role. Faulty attitudes like lack of attention, irresponsibility, recklessness. Now, whoever are working or man-machine relationships are there, man being a human being. So he is also a human being. So he is also full of emotions. He has also worries. He has also tension. So in this case, sometimes it may happen that because of this, otherwise he is a very sincere worker and doing well job. But sometimes because of the social pressure, if he not concentrating and doing his work, this may invite the accidents. Now, defective vision. This is the most important part in this MSME industry, because productivity is never linked with the age span of the workers. Young worker is doing the same job, 50 plus is also doing the same job. Now, because of the aging, vision is defective. So this is not being detected. So that industries should take care of the vision part based on the nature of the job assigned to it. So such type of personal factor can be taken care of. Then lack of sleep, because sometime during the absentia and particularly in the monsoon season, the absenteeism rate in the MSME increases more than 30%. This I can authentically say because I am a failure entrepreneur. I have run my industry 2 years during 88 to 90, and during the monsoon seasons, 30% absentee I was observing. So I was asking the available labor to do the one more shift. And because of the overloading, sometimes they are suffering lack of sleep. And if I pressurize more, then naturally accident will take place. So industry know that this is also, and that's why labor laws says that one should not have a continuous more than one shift. Now, risk-taking tendency. This is the childishness of the labor you will find in number of industries, just like in Coolie picture in Amitabh Bachchan, you will find such a hero culture in a labor invites such type of tendency, and which invites accidents. Alcohol and drug habits, but natural, you know it. And then physical fitness is also required. Medical test prior to the recruitment is a must. And if it is not physical fitness, then naturally it will invite accidents. Now, accident causes, these are the various factors we have seen, but unsafe conditions are also responsible for the accident. Which are those? Faulty mechanical conditions. Now, faulty mechanical condition, what do we mean by? So in a lathe machine, if I take an example, and you can see that multi-dimensional vertical lathe machines. In L&T it is available, and sometimes you can see a 1 meter or 2 meter diameter cell to be run. So it is a big lathe machines are available with a center height of 1.5 meter. Now in this mechanical faulty condition, because from one chuck to the tailstock one has to move, and here in this case the loosening of the bolt and nut and frequently checking is missing. So this may result into the faulty mechanical condition sometimes. And because it is loaded, unloaded with the help of the cranes only and with the chain pulley kappa. So sometimes because of this faulty mechanical, it may invite the accidents. No provision of the guards. This is happening because of the shortage of the pace or whatever it is, or once maintenance took place, and then the guards are always lying somewhere else. In a new condition, when machine is installed, and after a couple of years, if you go and see the same machine in the same shop, you will find a lot safety measures, the guards are missing. So this has to be practiced. Otherwise, this type of unsafe condition you will observe. In a rewinding of the motors, you will find that it is not protected. The high tension line terminals are also open. So here, this, in spite of providing the provision of the guards, after maintenance, it is not being restored. So this is the unsafe condition created by the workforce or human being only. Improper ventilation. Yes, this is mostly more industry observed, coated type industries. Particularly in Delhi, if you see this, all electronics, assembled equipments, just like speakers, radios, mobiles, if you see, so where you will not find the proper ventilation. And these all are highly inflammable material they are dealing with. So here, this is an unsafe condition. Poor illumination, lightning also, in this case, it is poor. So there also, because of the vision, sometimes you will find that because of the some terminals are not properly, either this you can say not welding but brazing properly because of the poor illumination, and it invites the unsafe conditions. Improper maintenance and periodical maintenance inspection. Yes, this is the most important part as a technocrat engineer. What is improper maintenance and what is the periodical maintenance inspection? Because if it is properly followed by the engineers, then you can say under this condition, accident chances can become a zero. Improper maintenance means जुगाड़ करके maintenance कर दिया है temporary. It is not followed the right process of the maintenance, and to continue the plant or to continue the production, if temporary solution is applied, this is known being an improper maintenance. And periodical maintenance inspection means after a run, if just like a cupola furnace, after a couple of charges, it is put onto the shutdown condition, and again all inspection is made and maintenance is carried out, and then again it is being taken into the charge. Similarly, in case of the boiler, when boiler starts, when use is over and when it is taken for the shutdown maintenance, when again you have to restart, you have to take a certification from the boiler inspector. So there are certain norms and rules regulations are also made available. But in routine maintenance, we say in a maintenance classification, this part falls under the periodical maintenance inspection is routine maintenance. Before you start production or running the machines, from the taking over from the previous shift to the your shift, you have to inspect all the things that it is fine and trial run, and then you can load and start the production. So this can only be achieved by regular training, motivation and practices of the labor force. Now, natural calamities, if comes accident, no one can help. For example, lightning, बिजली गिरती है तो, floods आता है तो, building गिरता है तो, earthquake होता है. So this is beyond control. So that we don't talk, because here in this case disaster management only apply in this case. So now some pictures, thanks to this prepared Viren Dulia, I tell you our OHH had PCS division. What type of the pictures when accident take place, you can see. This man lost his finger in a power press. There was no guard in place as required by the law to keep a guard at the feeding point of the press. Ultimately, this is the result. So this naturally invites what is being shown to you earlier, causes or accident. Now, this is a, you can say, in Gujarati mein kehawat randiya pachinu dapan. So here, may I should have kept those guard on my machine. This is always after burning the finger, you find I would have been alert in this case. So this normally we should avoid it, and this can be avoided by keeping awareness program. Yes, you can see one this while talking during the running and diverting the concentration, Amitabh style person is talking. So this also will invite accident unnecessarily. Here, while removing the jaw from the chuck, if you are not aware about the tool is already mounted on the saddle, what it will damage the hand only, because he would have slided tool post little away. So this injury may not take place. So this is also unsafe condition working practice. This is the while drill is in drill machines, drill is running, and instead of using the guide or this, yes, there is a jig available, but the way he is doing the work naturally is creating the unsafe condition and he may get injured. So this type of working condition needs to be changed by proper training, proper instruction, and proper supervision. Now this is the never use bare hands to remove the metallic chips from the machines. Yes, rods to be provided. So here naturally chips will injure the finger. So these are the unsafe condition, or you can say unknowingly, knowingly inviting the accident or injury. Here is using the right device for the removal of the metallic chips. So here, these are the common sense approaches for the safety measures. But these people, मुझे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. In that sense, they sometimes invite the accident. Now here, while material handling, while using the forklift, there is always a load center. So in this case, how to load it? So once one should know, the fork operator should know what is the load center. Based on the load center, if he maintains the center of gravity line properly, then while traveling or while driving this forklift, the loaded material will not collapse. Otherwise, it will fall down. So here in this case, this is also observed. A person is doing in this forklift, but he is keeping his feet in such a way that in case of he starts without notice, what will happen? So this is also a faulty or wrong way of working on the workplace. So the trained alert worker is a safer in an unsafe condition. So nature is safer in unsafe condition if training is required. An institution of engineer has initiated this to impart the training in every local chapter. And this is the cause of the today event, to create an awareness among the MSME. So our engineers can take benefit of this knowledge sharing also, and then they can apply and conduct a training program with the support of the available local centers on win-win situations. Now, untrained and unalert workers, in spite of providing the safe conditions, they are unsafe. This is a live example. People are, you can see, so sometimes the safe condition also, because it's not trained, unalert worker. So this is also to be noticed and identified, and these such workers needs to be trained for the purpose. So here, accident assessment also in every industry, because there is a classification of the work, light work, medium heavy duty work, rigging job. So here in this case, while working, what type of the accident possibility are there, and one should assess the method of in shop wise. So here activity is scrap lifting from the shop floor. It's a daily, because there may be a daily production of scrap, and every hour one is removing scrap with the help of the material handling equipment. It may be forklift or it may be a trolley. So what are the hazards possible? Falling of heavy scrap from the low height. If you dump it just like a heap, if it is not properly covered or tight while moving, there is all chances of falling. Just like in metro cities, you will find that waste collection, dry and wet, these tempos are moving, but they are also allowing some fall of the unfavored flavor waste, wet waste on the road, and it may invite the it's one type of the hazard, pollution hazard, plastic hazards. Now here in this case particularly scrap falling, it is an injury to man because it is falling or found on the way of walkway. So here it is controlled by allowing every workers compulsory to wear a safety suit, hand gloves, and safety instructions. So by this way, it can be avoided. Now, know your provider. What is being provided? Personal protective equipment in every MSME. You should ensure wherever you are working, whether glass industrial type helmet, fiberglass industrial type helmet is available or not. Welding helmet and welded shields are available or not. Panorama goggles with clear plastic vision is available or not. Because this are to be required, because MSME, it is a least priority. So they will not spend amount. This amount to be spent and safety corner to be made for the all equipment. So if whoever wants, they can collect from the personal protective equipment there, and they have to train to put again after use there. Leather cup type goggles, earplugs, because in a power generation industries, in a hydropower station, it's very difficult to listen. So here earplugs are important. Then dust respiratory in mine industries, this is to be used, otherwise lungs will be spoiled. And canister type gas mask also you have to use it, because sometimes poisonous gas are releasing under that environment one is working. And then leather aprons to protect from the various radiation, this is to be used. So here, if personal protective equipment, how to use it, training is required particularly. And this is an awareness, because things are available, but how to use, people do not know. And this is, you can see that the practice is made while traveling by the air. That air hostess is demonstrating in the all type of British ways. We are watching, and then at the end they say the picture card is available. You can see what to do, when to do, why you use the safety belt. So in this case, majority I have observed that they never bother. But when plane is in real risk, one will understand. If I would have learned properly, I would have saved. And whichever seat comes to be near emergency door is particularly trained in while driving. Similarly, in railway also this is required. While traveling in the railway, safety measures are required to be, though it is written, don't smoke, everything. But even though fire takes place in railway also. So here particularly while working in the industry, whatever personal protective equipments are available, these are to be periodically checked, inspect, and practice how to use it. Otherwise, what will happen? When it is a need, you will find it is either misplaced or not available at the right location, and you will again work, because work is more important. You leave it personal protective equipment, and one will put one's life into this. So personal protective equipment awareness and importance needs to be imparted as a knowledge to the all working employee of the industries. Now, how to create with prevention of the accident? Periodically, one should arrange a safety meeting. And in this case, they should analyze, identify how many number of accidents took place in this particular week. And in that also one should classify whether it was a major, minor, or just reportable, not reportable. So this is a weekly report to be displayed, and then motivation of the staff in whichever area or least accident should be avoided. So other staff will also motivated how to minimize the accident. So this is the part of the management side and the supervisory staff to organize such safety circle, and then suggestion to be invited for the improvement. What can be done now, not to repeat the mistake. So this type of the approach will lead to the better productivity and better safety condition. Now here, invitation to the fire and some accident. We should not ignore the following in the daily working practice: safe use of the electricity, proper disposal of the waste, hazardous waste, because this is a hazard for inviting the fire, because it contains all with some types of the oils, cotton waste or other waste, because lubricants are everywhere used. So all these places, oils, split of spark of electricity will get the fire. Good housekeeping is also one of the requirement for the same, and proper uses of the maintenance schedule will also reduce the chances of the accident. Now, how will you identify the hazards, if possible? Safety inspection, your valuable suggestions. Safety inspection, Institute of Engineer can initiate on this program and visiting the industry, and they can do the safety and identify the hazardous inspection. And they can, small scale industry can very well spend their CSIR fund for this job. Reporting of the actual cause of the accident. This is a factual case. If not reported, then never correct decision conclusion will come out. So factual or actual accident reporting should be there. Now this is an example. One has to use mind. This is just example how to use a heavy load. Stand close to the load. Then bend your knees, not your back. Otherwise, you will invite the back pain. Let your legs do the lifting. This is a live example. And this is happening because the handling on the heavy duty jobs. Get help of the someone and use the right tools. Leverage is another tool we are having. We see just video in this WhatsApp group sometime, number of in the form of the innovations and jugaad to innovations. So this type of the practice also needs to be followed in industries. And carrying the load, hold the load close to you, can see over it. Keep the load balanced. Avoid twisting the body. And watch out for pinch point where there is a possibility of opening. Here, when it happens, whenever any transporter is unloading cold drink boxes, this milk carrots, vegetable carrots from the truck to the destination, you will find they are doing in most crude way. If they are trained, then chances of safety will improve. Now, this is a leverage principle. Now, this you might have observed while shifting or installation of the machines. Now, moving of the machine to the extent you can take help of the crane or overhead crane or pulley kappa. But when you want to roll the machines, normally since that pipes are used and just with the help of the leverage, pipe is inserted. But these pipes, if you find of different diameters, ultimately what will happen, it will jump up and down sometimes. Sometimes it may invite accident also. So here in this case, if properly sized pipe, specifically designed and made available while shifting of the machines, then this loading and shifting of the machine can become easy. So here the leverage principle of the physics can useful for making the safe lifting. Now, if you lift like this, then naturally you are inviting your backbone pain. Now, these are the various hazards already discussed. I will not, because I watching them, I watch also. Now, risk also, severity of the risk, injuries minor. These are the cuts, brushes, irritation, because compensation, ESI is also there. So if accident takes place, then As a human factor, he should be supported in all respect with the laws, rules available, major accidents and the severe accidents. So these are basically, if one is aware of this thing, risk and hazard, and this can be minimized. So what are the occupational health hazards? Chemically, naturally, dust and fibers industry, fumes, more generated smokes. These are the all chemical related health hazards. Then physically, where the noise, environment working noise, vibration, in heavy temperature, you are working nearby the furnaces, metal melting furnaces, radiations industry, illuminations, pressure. So these are the various physical hazard in biological, virus, and in medical or pharmaceutical industries. One has to take care of this thing. And ergonomic hazards in the lifting and handling of the logistic department, repetitive activity of the loading, unloading, where these are known as the ergonomic hazards. One has to take care of this thing. So our joint motto is health, safety, and environment is to contain hazards, minimize hazards, eliminate it, reduce it, control the risks, protect man, machine, and material, and make environment safe. And by establishing a safety cell and with the recommendation of for better safety measure, use proper plugs, no hand tool which is not double insulated in use, no joint of welding lead uninsulated, no direct connection from switchboard, no welding set improperly earthed, no men working without wearing PPE, whichever is applicable, apron, shoes, goggles, helmet, likewise. No fire extinguisher is overdue testing and no empty fire bucket. This is the major cause of the causes in shopping centers and apartments because fire extinguishers are available, but at the time of need, it is not available. It is not working because it is not timely tested and certified. So in this respect, institution of engineer can extend their knowledge and services to periodically test and certify. Because my earlier speaker is a certified personality available. He takes responsibility in his industry to do the same job. Then no welding work in furnace or finishing shop without proper supervision and without taking precaution. No grinding machine, circular saw working without proper guards. No wire rope change overdue testing in use. So here in this case, symbolic things is given to reduce the fatigue at shop floor. Use being on bicycle because in the industry like Reliance or big industries, laborers are provided the cycles with these toolkit bags and they are moving in here. So it will be exercise also and they can shift. Otherwise, in a MSME or private limited company, you can see a wireman is coming. By one hand is a testing lab, second hand is a bags, and in net गला में पूरी माला की तरह वो वायर डाल के आता दिखता है. So this causes the unsafe conditions. What is the role of the supervisor? That is being well said, and just you can go through and read it. I will not speak on from the screen. So thank you all once again to all the dignitaries on the dais for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Bhatt sir. Thanks for sharing your deep knowledge regarding safety and all the precautions to be taken care of. So dear friends, today we have two panelists with us. Mr. Dinanath Akela, I really appreciate the effort he has said related about chemical incidents actually occurred at various industries like Century Rayon Chemical and Srihari Chemical and Soul Ispat Limited. And he has said a very deep knowledge what is the root cause of such events, why it happens, what is the measures which we can taken care of, or it should be prevented. I really appreciate Akela sir. Thanks for sharing this knowledge. We are very happy to have you here. But sir, really you have done a great, your very experienced knowledge about safety. I really appreciate your efforts, or which sides you have said regarding accident prevention, what natural calamities can occur that we can do, and we can't do anything for that. But then after you have said various accidental, assessment method in various shop industries and shop floor, what we can do further. I really appreciate one more thing regarding your knowledge, your senior expertise, that you have suggested something. We can go for some interrelational activities with international platforms, because those people, or the very well-developed countries like UK and USA, they are really doing good in the safety challenges. So we can create such unique platform. I suggest our honorable chairman also that IEI can take initiation for that, and we can go for such unique type of platform to create mutual cooperation or mutual collaboration between the various technical institutions, as well as good or well-developed industry with the IEI. So it can be a bridge between these bodies. So thank you, sir. There are, sir, some questions from the participants also. Many of the participants want your PPTs. They are really impressed. So I request you to share the PPTs so we can share them on via mail. One more question from Mr. Nikunj. It's a question for Akela ji.
Yes.
Is there any rules for IBR? Yes, there is a rule. Please explain, sir. And I mean any restriction to specific fuel?
Yes.
This is the question.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Nikunj, for the participation, first of all. And you have put the good questions regarding the boiler fuels. Yes, definitely. Because we all are associated with this the great industry, that is the boiler, and definitely it is from this platform I am going to explain about that. It is the backbone of our 80% economy in our manufacturing sectors. So that is mainly based off the steams, and the steam is still have only one option, that is the boiler, and this is right now as concerned with the regulation. So definitely it is governed by the IBR. So IBR 1950, and for looking the users problems and the design issues, these are going to look at by the central boiler group. Now I'm coming to your question. So is there any rules in IBR for the boiler fuels? As concern of this question, because the boiler is basically designed on the specific fuels, right? So there is no such, we can say directly the rule for the what we can say for the fuels. You can use any type of the fuels which you are able to burn, but the main concern is that we have to limit in the pollution control board norms, that is the central pollution control boards and from the state pollution control boards, right? So we are great to share here that some our great Indian companies like the Thermax has right now established the brand that you just name the fuel, he is able to burn and generate the steam, right? As concern of the fuel, we can burn it. The only concern is about it is not going to be harm to the equipment, not going to harm to the environment, not going to harm to the society, right? So this is the detail about that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One more question and a very interesting suggestion also that I can read that out. Can sensors and learning from the past accidents can be integrated in artificial intelligence to mitigate such accident? I am 100% agree with this opinion. I ask Bhatt sir and Akela ji, please explain this topic little bit more.
Sure, sir. Definitely, I have, and both we have the lots of things. But as concern of the time factor, if the time permit, then we can able to do for a full day session, so that it is not only one part of the industry, right? Because it is, if we talk about the industry, then we have to talk about the many things. Based on the fuel, based on the users, based on the availability. So if we can, there are challenges are different ways. So such as the challenges, if you take an example, like food processing, right? So there the safety concern and there the fire challenges are different. So similar for the sugar, similar for the rice husk, similar for the what we can say for the cement industry, for power sector, and most important, that is more and more prone and important for the petrochemicals. So we have to look out in the deep and deep, right? Because the nature, what are the situation, what are the specific, we going through the specific processes that also going to be contribute. So definitely we have to, if we have to go in that way, then we have to, what are the past and accidents are there. So we have to combine all this that, and based on the, what are the technical fault, what the technical lacking due to the knowledge or due to the availability of the, what we can say, the best technology. I'm again repeat to the 2-3 example, like the leakage of the chlorine. Sir, I'm not going to say, but it is what we can say. If I have time permit, then I will share one session only for the chlorine, that if there is a leakage of the chlorine, so in the just of the 10 to 20 minutes, it will be sprayed at a velocity of the 30 to 40 meters as a vapor cloud, and it will be the within the, what we can say, the minutes we are use the human losses are there. So
Yes,
what
yes,
the industries is going to be operate the chlorine, I am still going to pray with the God that we have more and more advancement, more and more trainings, and more what we can say the good practices are required, who are handling there, because I am also regularly doing the such practices are there, but still we have to lots of improvements, lots of technology developments are required. So
Thank you.
I just amend to it. Hazardous waste disposal. By laws, there is a rules and regulation available. But by the tendency and practice of the industry recently in Surat, near the Sachin GIDC, the waste, hazardous waste from the Bombay, it is converted into the khadi, and which has resulted in fatal accidents. So in this case, some rules and regulation also needs to restructure about the safety and precautions in this case, because such a hazardous disposal should be under the direct monitoring and supervision of the one authority, either managed by the government or by some PSU type organization, who only will take and move the transport of this hazardous. So such rule amendment is also required. So if we can debate on safety and this, then particularly in apartment and shopping center, you can see because of the not fulfilling the safety requirement installation, a number of shopping center are sealed and bread and butter of the small persons made unavailable. Actually, in my apartment or other apartment, we had a fire in meter box. We had installed all fire extinguisher. It didn't work at the time of the need. So here some rules and regulation and the availability of the 108 type support system is required, because it is available, but the location of this takes a lot time, because from GEB, because we only flat holders have captured the caught the fire in meter boy at midnight, and when it was controlled, GEB vehicle came. So in this case also, every awareness apart from this, rules and regulation also needs to be made flexible, adaptable, and feasible. Just bureaucratic rules and regulation also causes the accidents, because why small scale industry is not having the proper safety measures, because it is a non-productive expenditure. So this expenditure should be allowed to get in somewhere. So industry will come forward for this training program, because they do not come for the such platforms for training, get trained their people. So some rules and regulation also needs to be improved, and that we platform can suggest to the government and other bodies that this is the required. So here I can play a vital role
Yes.
for the reformation of the rules and regulations.
Okay. So during this discussion, we got many answer of many participants also, as they have asked about any specific rules, regulation, authorities in industries are there, why they are being compromised and everything. As we are running sort of time, friends, so I can't handle all the questions, but almost our panelists have concluded all the crux of the fire safety and challenges, what I believe. For conclusion, let me say thank you to Honorable Thakre Saab. This is President. Unfortunately, was not able to join us. Then Dr. Ranga Reddy Saab, Chairman, Mechanical Division Board. Ranganath sir, this is Chairman, Committee for Advancement of Technology and Engineering, IEI. Our respected Chairman, Dr. Vagasia. Our most valued invited panelist, Mr. Akela and Dr. Bhatt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Professor K.D. Panchal, Senior Faculty, Government Engineering College, Surat, Sub-Zonal Officer, Education Department, Government of Gujarat, as well as Honorable Secretary, on behalf of entire South Gujarat Local Center team, let me call it fraternity of all engineers together today. And on my own behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers, panelists, for gracing your important work, opinion with us, with your deep knowledge and opinions today. Thanks a lot to both of you, fellow. Thank you. Thank you, Bhatt sir, and thank you, Akela.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, panelists, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Thakre sir also. He was not present. Ranga Reddy Sahab, Ranganath Chairman Sahab. He's a chairman. Again, I am asking a committee for the advancement of technology and engineering, IEI, for their valuable presence. I have observed they have present during the entire session. Thank you, both of you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
I also extend my sincere thanks to whom we cannot forget Mr. Kingsuk Sen, the Assistant Director Technical, for their enormous and hearty efforts for organizing such event and cooperation in organization of this event. Thank you, Kingsuk Sen Saab.
Kingsuk is a very dedicated staff.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Respected Chairman, ladies, gentlemen, and my dear participants and attendees, we have seen more than 100 participants has been joined us. So I personally believe that this is a great success of this webinar. Once again, I want to state that we are almost most grateful to all panelists on this stage. At last, I thank you all the participants for being with us this evening. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator also.
Over to Kingsuk Sen, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kind permission from Chairman Kate and Chairman of the host center. Now, and all the panelists and our honorary secretary, sir. May I now, we are concluding and the end of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.